Hey, I'm Callie Lewis. You're watching Geek Brief TV. Forgive the lack of makeup, but I have a really interesting story for you guys. So we were walking out the door to walk our dogs, and we found out that our neighbor builds helicopters. Come here. Look at this thing. So he was walking out his door at the same very time, and he was carrying this, and my jaw just dropped. And so he said that he was going to actually go out and fly this for the very first time, the maiden voyage, and we asked if we could film it, and he's been very accommodating.
This is version number 1 that
That's
crashed.
version number 1, yep. And that, yeah, you can see the part of the landing gears here, part of the rotor right there. So the training wheels, these are training wheels basically, which is what I have on these. Yeah. So, but yeah, so this is a brand new one right here. Brand new engine, brand new helicopter. So we're
and you just got finished building it.
Just finished building it. So it's going out for its maiden voyage right now. So we'll see how this goes. So
awesome.
Yeah, the other one, I wish you guys would have had this on camera. It was right over here. The battery died on it, and it was higher than the apartment building here. And it just started you couldn't control it anymore. So you're flying, all of a sudden it just takes a nosedive straight into the curb, and I couldn't do anything about it, and it took a nosedive right into the curb, and I was just like, oh gosh. So,
but once it starts coming down, can you
well, because the battery was dead on the helicopter, so I had the remote was good, but the helicopter's like, I don't even know what you're saying.
So are you thinking this whole time, I'm losing money, I'm losing money?
Oh yeah, I was thinking there's no way I'm going to recover this thing. Yeah. And sure enough, when I picked all the pieces up off the curb, I was like, no, it's done. So it turned out it was almost just cheap to buy a new one, or it was expensive to buy a new one. So do you feel like you're going to be able to control this one all the way? You checked the batteries, right? I charged the batteries, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. All right. Oops, sorry. Yeah, before I can really take it off, I have to start it up to make sure everything's...
What are the parts?
Well, let's see here. I can give
you called the wood training wheels.
Oh yes, those. So
that provides balance?
Well, yeah, so when you're landing, if you were to land it on its side, normally without those on it, if I landed on its side, the blade's gonna go right into the ground and poof, done deal. And those are $20 a piece for the set of blades. And those are cheap blades. Wow. So the training wheels just kind of help. You can kind of land it on its nose, its back, its side without it doing anything. Now, of course, if you do a nosedive into a curb, those won't save you from that. So you gotta, they're just kind of helpful, and they add a little bit of weight, so it adds stability. But other than that, that's what those are. And of course, I was mentioning, on a helicopter, the way these things turn is by it actually tilts the blades. Oh. The pitch. If you, I'll turn this all on and show you, but. I don't know if you guys know a lot about how helicopters work. I just learned 2 weeks ago, so.
No, we just like playing and breaking the little ones.
Well, as I say, what's cool is as you increase the throttle, there's 2 servos. There's servos in here, which I can show you what these things look like, which I think are pretty cool. All these little things right here are servos. Okay. So you have one for the throttle down here. You have one on this side which controls a pitch, which actually tilts the blades. So one will tilt like that, so it actually gives more, kind of like on a fan blade, it gives you more, more airflow goes through, but at the same time it puts more strain on the engine because it's having to push a lot more air. Right. So what happens is as you turn up the throttle and this guy goes up, the controller actually tells the pitch to go up at the same time. So it'll change the pitch of the blade. So not only are you increasing the throttle, you're also changing the airflow too. Okay. So as you get into stunting and get into more, when you become more of a professional, you can get to where, you can take this thing straight up like 50 feet a second and you can drop it, fly it upside down and do all kinds of stuff. I obviously don't want to do that, so this thing should be really for an amateur right now. So it should fly real stable, real smooth, no upside downs or anything like that. But hey babe, can I see that right there? So have you guys seen one of these before?
Not like that?
Or do you know how
this, yes.
Okay, so what we have here, I'll go ahead and turn this guy on. Oops, it warns me when you have these things in. Okay, I'll turn this on. There's several things I want to show you guys here. So you can see we have the throttle right here, on this right here. And that controls, as you can see the servo down there, as I turn that up, it turns the servo and it turns those things on the side. Okay. And this is, like I said, the pitch. So it's actually changing the pitch of the blades as it goes up. And you have the ailerons, which are left and right, which, as you'll see, these all move kind of whenever you do anything, but they move in different degrees depending on if you're trying to go left, trying to go forward, back. and whatnot. But this thing here, this is a gyro. It's called a gyrometer, I think. And that actually helps you when it's windy like this and you're trying to fly straight. It actually controls the tail rudder for you to make sure that no matter what happens, the helicopter's always pointed in one direction. So if you didn't have that, you would, if the gust of wind comes, it's going to start turning and you're going to have to control it, and then it's going to start turning the other way when the wind stops, and then, you know, so that thing, that saves a lot of helicopters right there. So, but that's kind of the that's kind of under the hood of what one of these things looks like.
And this cost about $800?
The actual body here was $300, well, with tax was $400 for the actual body of this T-Rex. It's a T-Rex 600. And that was $400, and the engine itself that's in here is a 50 size engine. It's half a cubic inch actually. That was $200, and then this was $350. So really, it's over $800 for all this.
And you get it piece by piece, and you can customize exactly what you're getting or doing.
Exactly. You can get a big. Well, this is the largest size engine that'll fit in this helicopter. But you could get a smaller engine if you wanted to. You can get, you know, different controllers. You could get a much bigger. I mean, these helicopters get to where you can get them twice as big. I mean, they get huge. And you can also, what's cool is get a fiberglass shell for this that actually makes it look like a real helicopter. So that's kind of nice. But of course, those are about $250.
Oh, ouch.
And the thing is, if I crash at one time, poof, it's gone. So, you know, needless to say, I did not buy one of those. But yeah, let's see if we can get the engine started on this thing and get it.
While you're doing that, you're in IT. How'd you get interested into helicopters?
You know what? Like I said, I used to fly remote control airplanes. And as a kid, back when I was like 12 years old, and I just always wanted one of these, and just one day said, you know what, Linda, let's stop by the helicopter store. And since then, she's barely seen me since. So
the time that I do get from him when he's home, he's really not anymore.
I'm working on the helicopter.
So if he's not in bed when I wake up, I know exactly where he's at.
But yeah, so I just thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to come fly around here and just cruise over the lake. You can land these things, well, not now, but you can land them in the water if you have the little floaties on it.
Oh, awesome.
So that's kind of a cool thing.
The question is not will it blend, the question is will it fly? It didn't on Saturday, but he's promised to let us know when he takes it out for another test spin after making a few adjustments. This episode is brought to you by the HP Media Smart Server. Mine's been serving up Christmas music all weekend. Love it. Thanks for watching. You can find out more information at www.geekbrief.tv. Bye.
Oh.
What was that?
Those blades.
The blade slipped?
Okay, so that's a good sign for today. We'll continue later. So remember to tighten all the bolts on the blades. It's very important to do that. So yeah, I might want to go check everything else on this thing too before I fly this thing again.